Hey, this is Mike. Tracy here at Conway Ford, Conway, South Carolina, hooked me up with this 2015 F-150 XLT to show all of you what you can get in an XLT. Now this is a really nice truck with the ruby red color, which is just really stands out as one of the best colors on the lot when I'm looking at all the trucks. And the XLT is a really good starting point for a truck. The trim level in the F-150 series, besides if just like a basic work truck, this is a really good starting point trim level for a lot of people. So let's check it out. So you can see just the overall design is absolutely stunning, and it is a 2015 with the all aluminum body, so you don't have to worry about rust. You got a lighter truck which is able to handle more payload and cargo capacity, that kind of stuff. So and now this one has the 18-inch wheels here, and they are chrome, but there's no plastic on the outside of those wheels. Those are all metal. And so I wanted to point that out. A lot of truck manufacturers have a plastic cladding on the outside of the wheels when they're chrome, so always check that. So you can see it has the side steps there, running boards. Check out the front end. Now this one does have the halogen headlights and fog lights, chrome tow hooks, chrome bumper, chrome grille, which you can see all that stuff. But the roominess and it has a very comfortable ride, as well as a very roomy truck. So let me get a good profile shot there so you can see the stance and the size of the truck. And this is a 4x4 truck. Okay, so let's go ahead and start here on the passenger side. Alright, this has a gray interior, kind of a gray and black two-tone interior, and you can see it has tons of storage places here in the door. You've got a small one there which looks like a perfect spot to put a cell phone, and then you've got a bottle holder and just paper holders, just lots of stuff to put stuff. Lots of places to put stuff when you get in the vehicle. If like your hands are full, you can just put it right down in there and it's secure and out of the way. So you can see you do have the manual adjustments on the seats here, on the cloth seats. And you see the stance of the seat base compared to the floor has a really good comfort level height. I don't know if you can see right in here, it has a neat little place to put a pen or something that maybe even a small cell phone right in this little spot. Hopefully you can see that. Let's see here. Yeah, that might help. And it's kind of rubberized in there, and it has a lip, so whatever you put in there is not going to roll out very easy. Glove compartment. Not the biggest one in the world, but it's adequate. But you also have this place up here for putting stuff too. You have a handle to get in the vehicle if you need that. Now here's the back door. As you can see, this is has plenty of space in the back seat. I mean, it is just massive, and you can tell the front seat is not all the way up or anything like that. You just have a massive amount of room in these trucks. Now some trucks may have a bigger seat or something, but this one has a pretty adequate seat and plenty of leg room. You can really stretch out and back here and have things in the floorboard. You can also put stuff under the seat, which is a good thing. Let me lift the seat up just so you can see that. So you can see it does have a storage space there, but also it has this big open place in the center of the floor. And also Ford makes a mat, rubber mat that covers this whole area. So basically you can have the seats up there, and then you can put a big mat there, and you can use this as a cargo area when you don't have any rear passengers. Or you can have some rear passengers and like say you can have one seat down for one passenger, and then you still have that cargo area there, which is a pretty cool design. And you still have the storage bins there on the doors. All right, looking at the very back of the truck, you can see that it has the towing package, and it also has the 7 and 4-way plugs there. There's a lock here for your spare tire, so nobody can steal that. Also, you have the backup camera on this one. And there's the lens. It is you can see it's a wide angle lens, which I'll show you that when we get in the truck. So here's the handle. And very easy to lower the tailgate, and it's not very heavy. And this one, you can get like a spray-in bed liner or a plastic bed liner, but this is what it looks like without any kind of liners. And you do have these really heavy-duty tie-down spots here, as well as here on the corners. And it's a good height. It's not a very good height for climbing in there. It does have a step here on the side of the bumper, but as far as like loading and unloading stuff, it's basically about like workbench height, which is pretty cool. All right, the fuel door is on the driver's side, and there's no cap. So you don't have to worry about a cap. You just take the nozzle, put it in there, pump your gas, and you're good to go. Alrighty, so this is your other side. I'm gonna give you another point of view here. And the seats are lockable, like basically they stay up, and then you can pull that handle to lower it, so that way they don't accidentally fall down on whatever you put there. And also the back seat drivers do have some stuff back here. There is a power supply and cup holders here. So you do have some cup holders and a power supply for the back seat drivers, and they got plenty of headroom as well. So in some ways the back seat is more roomy than the front, and that's unusual. You do have heated side mirrors. You have the ability to set a passcode to open up the door, but you do have the keyless entry in this truck anyway, which I'll show you that on the key in a minute. But here's the inside of the driver's side. And you can see it's just like the other side, except for it has some more buttons. So instead of just one, it has all 4 window controls. You can lock out the other windows controls if you want to. Your side mirrors, you can adjust them right here. Just choose a side and adjust it with that pad. Your door lock controls are there. Speaker there. Now you do have the power seat on the driver's side and the manual tilt the back. Right here we have your headlight controls, and so basically it's automatic too. So right here it has that letter A. I don't know if you can see that, but that little A stands for automatic. And then you can have the regular headlights there, parking lights, or just completely off. You can also turn on the fog lights right here with this button, and this is your cargo light. So you push that and it illuminates. There's a light on the back of the, right up here on the back of the cab, that illuminates your bed. And it will sometimes turn on by itself, like right now when the door's open, but also you can turn that on manually there if you want to do that. And then to the right is your dimmer switches for your interior gauges, the lights in the interior gauges. So down here we've got adjustable pedals. So your accelerator pedal and your brake pedal can be adjusted with this button, in and out to the exact distance from your body as you want. Alright, so let's look underneath the hood and check out the 5.0 liter V8 engine that this one has. The latch is slightly to the right of the oval. You reach in and you can just push it up, pick it up like that. Alright, 5.0 liter V8 6-speed automatic transmission. And you can actually see the engine. It's not like covered up with big plastic cover like some of them are. You can actually see some engine there. Of course, that's what excites me, is seeing some engine. Now, it does have some plastic incorporated in the engine. Like I said, the valve covers have plastic. There's some intake manifold has some plastic in there. So, but that's still part of the engine. So I kind of justify that. You know, it's not a cover. It's not covering the engine. It's just part of the engine, which is probably a good thing. All right, let's take a look on the inside. Okay, so I'm in the truck now, and we're going to check it out in detail. And so first thing I'm going to do is shut the door so you can see the difference as far as the sound. It is quite quiet in here. So let's take a look at the key here. It has the keyless entry with the lock and unlock buttons. It also has the panic button there. And then on the back, you can see it has the Ford blue oval there. Now the key is on the inside. You push this button, it pops out, and that's how you access the key. So let's go ahead and put it in the ignition and start the truck up. Alright, now the steering wheel is a leather wrap steering wheel with some stitching on the inside. It's very comfortable. It does have a really good give to it to where it doesn't fatigue your hand on long trips. You can really grip it without digging into your hand or anything like that. It does have the bolsters here to give you that extra protection there as far as steering. So the steering wheel has plenty of buttons on it. Cruise control buttons are here, and your volume buttons are up in here, also tuning through the stations. Your radio mode is that center button. Okay, so pushing the M button, you'll see that it goes through AM, FM, satellite radio, stuff like that. So it cycles through the different modes of the radio. And then you can change through the tracks or the seek through the stations, and then you got your volume. These buttons correspond to the Bluetooth system. You do have a voice recognition. You have the ability to send and receive calls. So basically, if you're driving along, once your Bluetooth phone is paired with the system and somebody calls you, you can just push that button and say hello, and you can have a whole conversation and then hang up right here. Now, if you want to call somebody, you push this button here and you say call John, whoever it happens to be that's in your phone book, and it'll automatically call them. So the voice recognition is a really handy thing for not only making and receiving calls, but also you can change to different stations and stuff too. So there's some other uses. A very good safety feature to keep your eyes on the road, hands on the wheel. So these buttons on the left side of the steering wheel correspond to this screen here in the center of the gauges. So on the left and right, you can see you've got your RPMs and your speedometer, and then at the very top you've got a whole bunch of different gauges: oil pressure, engine temperature, fuel gauge, and then your transmission temperature is there to the far right. Now the difference here that you can tell, this is the engine and this is the transmission, because this one has a little gear. I don't know if you can focus in. It has a little gear there, so that's letting you know that's for the transmission actually. And the other one is actually your coolant temperature, but it's basically relates to your engine. So that's that. Now, so back to this pad here, this center screen between the gauges gives you more information. Now, you don't have to use this screen necessarily, it's just there in case you need the information in the screen. So you have your odometer there to the bottom left, and then you have the compass there in the top right where it says E. That means the vehicle is facing east. So right now I'm in kind of like the main menu, and so right now I can go into display mode and see different displays, like say how long I can drive before I need to get gas, the transmission temperature, tire pressure in each tire, and then have a digital speedometer, which is really handy. And then you've got your engine information as far as how long it's been idling, engine hours, and also percent of the oil life. And then you have 2 keys, and then it scrolls back to there. So I can go back out of that, but push the left arrow. So I'm going to scroll down. This is your trip screen. This gives you your fuel economy, your history of your fuel economy the last 30 minutes. So basically, when you're driving, you'll get like a real-time view of your what you're getting in that current moment. So like right now, it's telling me the fuel level is low, so it will alert you if any of these things are out of spec. Fuel history. All right, so here's a compass, just kind of facing you the direction of the vehicle. You're showing you what direction your vehicle's facing. And then this is your different trips there. There's a timer as well as a distance, and then your average miles per gallon and gallons used, which is really cool. And then you got 2 trips. Then it scrolls back to the fuel economy. Towing, you can go in here and you can check different settings on that. Off-road. This is pretty cool because basically as you're driving, that right there in the center shows you that I'm only in 2-wheel drive, which is the power is going to the rear wheels. But when you lock into 4-wheel drive, it'll show you that the front wheels are engaged. Also, it shows you your if you're leaning to the right or left, or forward and back, the degree to which you're leaning. So there might be certain degrees in which it might be unstable or whatever. But anyways, that's pretty cool feature, I think. Alright, and then you can of course change settings, say like your calculation, distance to empty calculation, and then advanced settings will go into your keys and all that stuff. So we'll get at all that stuff. And pretty much the default screen would be right there, your digital speedometer as you're driving. You don't really have to go in all that stuff, like I said. Alrighty, so here is your windshield wiper controls, plus your high beam and low beam adjustments. So this one does have a column shifter. So this so let's show you here. I'm gonna go ahead and put it down in reverse, like so. You can see the backup camera pops up on the screen, and so you can see behind you. Also, this is not a touch screen, so I have to push this button down here, just below this little magnifying glass, and it zooms in right to where the trailer hitch would hook up. So that's a pretty cool feature as you're backing up to a trailer. But also, continuing down, if you can see, it's putting me down in drive. So there's drive mode, and so basically you're driving and you don't have to think about changing gears or anything. You can choose to put it in tow and haul, which you push it 1 time, or sport mode, which you push it twice down here. But you can go into which is labeled as M, which is manual mode, and you can use this. You can put your hand here and use these plus and minuses to manually change the gear ratios if you need to. And it'll tell you what gear you're actually in up here. So I'm going to just push the plus so you can see it change it too. But if I keep pushing it, it's going to eventually start flashing, because it's not going to let you get too far out of range as far as the appropriate gear ratio for the truck. So just keep that in mind. It is more of a suggested than actual you controlling 100%. And of course, you can always, just like a traditional old school way, is just manually just take the shifter down further, and you can go into 2 and 1. This is for like downshifting down a hill or something. Your 4-wheel drive controls are here, and it's basically as simple as turning a knob. 2-wheel drive high is what the default is. Now you can choose 4-wheel drive high or 4-wheel drive low. So those are the different drive modes there. Your traction control, your stability control, you can turn that off if you need to. That's only for if you're like stuck or something and you need to spin wheels, but you can turn that off. Default is on, so it's always on unless you turn it off. And then there's your 4-way flashes. And like I said before, this is not a touch screen, so it's not going to recognize any touching on the screen, but it has plenty of buttons around it that correspond with it. So you can, your CD, your radio, satellite radio, you can adjust your clock settings here. Media is where you play stuff through either your Bluetooth phone or an auxiliary line in, or a USB port, which I'll show you those in a minute. And then your phone, you can set up your phone there. Plus you have a keypad here for dialing out using your phone, or in the radio screen they're used as presets. And then you can make menu, you can choose options here. So I'm just gonna push some buttons here just so you can see the different screens. You can adjust the audio. There's the radio, there's a satellite radio, media, which I don't have anything hooked up. There's the clock. Let's go push that, because that's how easy it is to set the clock. On the phone, we don't have one prepared, but if we did, this is where you'll be able to see your phone book and your recent calls, stuff like that. And then there's a menu to which you can, there's the menu in which you can make different settings. You can adjust it. So here's your volume control on the left, tune through the stations on the right, pretty traditional there. And then you can make selections on the screen, like say up and down selections there. Since it's not a touch screen, you do have to use these buttons to go through different menus. You can change through different CD tracks if you want to there. Your CD player is actually right in here, and there's the eject button. Climate control is found down here, and it is a just like a one climate control. It's not dual. So basically, you can just set your fan speed here, your temperature on that side, and then where you want the air to blow, and if you want air conditioning or not. You do have a recirculation button there for getting the air colder. Also, it keeps the outside air from coming in the vehicle. Little storage pocket here for putting some small stuff. And so down here is your auxiliary input, line in, USB, and you have a 12 volt power supply there. Alright, so now this has a center console, I guess you could say, armrest, and does have some cup holders, has a place to put something, quick access place there, and then this lifts up, and then you got some more storage space in there. Now this whole thing will lift up out of the way. It's a little tricky getting it back down if you're like driving or whatever, so you either have it up or down before you start driving. So but I mean, it's real easy to put up when you're driving, so you just lift this up and it snaps in place. So if you need a center passenger, no problem. But if you want to lower that, it's a little tricky trying to do it with there's a little handle over here that you have to push, and trying to do that when you're driving is a little tricky. So also you have this seat actually lifts up, and you've got quite a bit of storage space under the seat, as well as this cup holder that you can basically take it out and put it in like that, out of the way, so somebody can put their feet there or whatever. So you know, you can choose to have the cup holder out or in, whatever you want to do there. Alrighty. Let's get a broader view here. And plenty of room. Plenty of leg room, knee room, everything. Head room. It's awesome. Alright, so it does have an auto dim rear view mirror up here, and the light sensors on the back of it. So we're just putting my hand back here for a few seconds. We'll trigger the auto dim portion. You see it slowly kind of gets dimmer. My hand is covering up properly. I don't know if you can see it, but anyway, it gets dimmer. The darker it is, the dimmer it'll get. So that way it kind of automatically puts it in night mode, and then once it senses the light again, it'll go back to normal. So up here you got some quick access reading lights, you got interior lights there. You can make it to where the lights are off, but you can also make it to where even if the doors are open, they won't turn on. So it's pretty cool there. There's a place to put your sunglasses. And the visors have mirrors, but no lights on both sides. All right, so what do you think? What do you think about this truck? You gotta let me know in the comment section. Has one solid piece of glass there. What do you think about this trim level? That's what I'm asking, versus other trim levels, and you know, considering price. And of course, everybody would, if they're all the same price, the Platinum would probably be everybody's choice. But what do you think as far as the price and the options that this truck has? I'm curious to know what you think. If you purchased one of these trucks and you want to share your experience, why you chose this trim level versus another trim level, that would be very interesting, I'm sure, for everybody. So if you could share that in the comments as well. And I appreciate you watching, and thank you very much to Conway Ford for allowing me to check out this truck and show it off to all you. And I don't work for Conway Ford, I work for you guys, so if you can send me a tip, I'd really appreciate it. It makes it all happen. So anyways, thanks for watching. See you next time.